Well, the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber is hosting its annual business luncheon on Wednesday, April 18th at the Trinidad Hilton and Conference Center. The event's theme and its significance in the current economic climate, a lot to discuss. Joining us on set, we have the CEO of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Gabriel Faria, and also we have the Deputy CEO, Business Generation, First Citizens Bank, Jason Julian. Welcome.
Good morning.
First Citizens Sportswoman of the year, I see.
No, of course, we are very proud. So let me first start off by joining in the congratulations for Michelle. As a member of the First Citizens Sports family, we want to congratulate her. She's our current Sportswoman of the Year of the First Citizens Sports Foundation. Very, very proud, and we're actually going to be airing the Sports Awards, I think, again this weekend, so you could catch her in that ceremony over the weekend.
Great, great. All right, gentlemen, so we are talking about this annual business luncheon, and Mr. Faria, what is on the agenda for this event?
Well, what we are doing this year with the luncheon is we're doing it a little differently. We're actually bringing a panel in, and we're very fortunate to have the country head for the IDB, Rocio Medina Bolivar, who has just taken up assignment. And she'll be actually speaking about understanding and learning some other countries that have gone through similar trauma to their economic environment and what we can learn from them. What we're also doing is we have brought in two businessmen that are making bold moves to change a predictable outcome. That's the theme of the luncheon that we're having. And what it really talks about is how businesses can do what they have to do rather than looking at someone else doing. And I think what you will see, both these businesses are actually going to be starting up their operations in April this month. And one of them was an importer of, if you want to call it, luxury items and electrical goods. And he's putting down an ice cream factory that's going to be exporting.
Wow.
Another one was an importer of batteries from Turkey. And he's now going to be exporting batteries, making them and exporting them. So I think when you listen to these stories and what they're doing, it's critical. And then we, of course, have Dr. Terence Farrell, who has been so involved in a landscaping exercise in looking at how we structure the economy of Trinidad to operate in a non-energy environment. So I think you're going to be learning a lot. You're going to be seeing and hearing for yourself what businesses are doing.
Wow, this is quite encouraging. So we are seeing a shift in the entire fabric in terms of businesses no longer buying to sell, but now we are actually manufacturing. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would say not necessarily a shift, but a refocus.
Okay.
Because we have such a strong manufacturing base right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and we've always been one of the markets that have served the other members of the Caribbean in terms of export-oriented.
Yes.
I think what we've emphasized this time around is the fact that the need for a bold move, the need to know, despite the economic environment, have a focus on how do we as a business community do our part to grow, to look for new markets, to take the bold steps necessary in times like this, despite the challenges and the headlines that may surround us.
Yes, so indeed, it's an encouraging time. We are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel, would you say?
I think what you're seeing is you're seeing businesses making their light. You're seeing businesses making the decision that we have to do something different. We're not going to sit here and complain. Mm-hmm. And I mean, to that end, Jason and them sponsor, the First Citizens family sponsors a group or an award for one of our signature events called Internationally Known TNT Owned. Quite interesting because they've actually sponsored Michelle Ai. When I say sponsored, they've actually recognized her before. And what this is all about, again, is recognizing businesses that are TNT owned, that are sitting on our world platform. Last year, it was Bermuda's Biscuit Company.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you go anywhere in the world, and they're companies we're so proud of. And, you know, as Jason said, their Trinidad companies supply the entire region, and we have products that supply the entire world. Right? I mean, companies like SM Jalil, companies like Angostura.
Yes.
So there's a lot to be proud of. And I think this is why First Citizen has made a decision to focus on that. And they have been supporting our signature events, our Hall of Fame for, I don't know, 14 years.
Yeah.
So, and we have to understand that businesses start from a concept, from an entrepreneur. Be it the largest company, be it Ansa McCall, Neil and Massey, Agostini. They all started with somebody in a garage coming up with an idea, an engineer. And today in a borderless country or economy, we could have the next Amazon or the next Google sitting here.
Yeah.
But we have to stop operating in the morass of what we can't do and start making bold moves to change what would be a predictable outcome.
And Verna, the economic cycles are just that, they're cycles. So we've been in this situation before. So, and the business community of Trinidad and Tobago have survived the down, and they've been here for the up, and they continue to be part of who we are and help the economy grow. So part of the bold moves is also learning from those experiences, and I think part of the benefit of a panel that we put together is that there's so much rich experience and learnings and knowledge on that stage that could be imparted to the members of the audience, because this is not uncharted territory, but it is a need for us to refocus and, you know what, time to make the right choices in this type of environment and learn from those who have been there before.
Great. So let's look at the industrial policy, and we're looking at cluster development. So when we look at these two factors, is the government doing its part in terms of creating the ideal environment in order to facilitate businesses like these?
I think I'll take it. I've been working. There are a number of initiatives that are being taken. Of course, is there more to be done? Sure, there is. But I think, again, in interviewing these two gentlemen with their businesses, when I heard of the support they received from certain ministries and certain government agencies, I think I was heartened to see certain things being done. Of course, we are still disappointed in the crime situation. The industrial relations climate is still not where it should be in terms of encouraging foreign players or people to invest in the market. And we have to understand, like I said earlier, we sit on a world stage. Today, capital is mobile. Where is the right place to invest? And what we are trying to do is create the environment and the ecosystem to make sure that Trinidad is where the focus is.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more about who are some of the featured speakers at the event.
Yeah. So we have a couple of names that some may be familiar, some may be less familiar. So Rocio Medina Bolivia, she's from the IDB. She's recently installed. She's coming with that world-class knowledge and experience, having seen what other markets in similar situations have done and reacted and prepared and planned. She's going to come and share some of those learnings. We have Dr. Terence Farrell, who of course is well known locally as a renowned economist and former chairman of the IADB, of the Economic Development Board, sorry. We have Mr. John Haddad, who's Group CEO of HADCO, and of course Mr. Christopher Skinner, who is CEO of Luncheon Trinidad. So it is a balanced panel that is sharing both not only in theory, but practice. Those who have survived and seen the different economic cycles, those who are currently making bold moves in terms of the current environment and making investment and taking advantage of opportunities, those who are bringing experiences from outside of Trinidad and Tobago that could be imported into Trinidad and Tobago. So I think the panel itself is designed deliberately to create that balance and to create that discussion, which I think is necessary now.
Yes.
That's very correct, because it's what it does. It blends conceptual, economic, and theory to real business, and this is what our entire ecosystem supports. We have a session called the Business Society Series, where it's training for business by business. What this is a combination of business, international expertise, and a noted economist who has been very, very supportive in helping to craft a future pathway for growth in Trinidad.
Yeah, and this is of course going to address our foreign exchange shortage as well, if it is we have businesses that are now foreign exchange earners.
It's interesting because both these gentlemen, their core focus was within 2 years for 50% of their business to be export driven. Right. So this session is it's just next week. It's the 18th. It's at the Hilton. And I think you asked the question if it was open to members or not. The luncheon is open to anyone. We have limited seating left. In fact, when we had booked this, we didn't expect the uptake. But I think what we are seeing is, even on our social media feeds, we're getting a lot of positive feedback of people asking questions. For members, it's $750, and for non-members, it's $850 per person. And that, of course, includes lunch. And you can either email event.units@chamber.org.tt, or you can call 637-6966, extension 1251. And as I said, we still have a couple of seats left. because I was actually at Dilton trying to make sure we could fit everyone in based on the feedback.
So it's important for entrepreneurs to attend.
And that's what I wanted to emphasize.
Yeah.
So people hear the chamber and they think established businessmen who are successful, and that is true. But what is also true of the chamber is that we have a great collection of emerging entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs who may not necessarily be on the same scale as a Hardco and a Lunch, but who are certainly on the trajectory to get there. So we want to encourage and invite everyone that you have a business mind, you're interested in business, and not only the emerging entrepreneur, the person who's in right now sitting in his bedroom with a concept and a startup idea, but doesn't have the way to get it going. We're inviting everyone with a business mindset to come and be part of the audience, because I think there's something that could be gleaned for everyone. And the time we're in right now, that injection of boldness, I think, is necessary.
Yeah. What are the role of companies? I mean, even First Citizens Bank and also Nedco, for instance. What role do they play in all
So
of this?
there is an ecosystem for entrepreneurs through the incubators, and as you said, Nedco and a number of others. And what we are focused on is really creating a pathway from that incubator into pre-commercialization, into commercialization. Last year, Twigs Naturals won our startup of the year. It was Cheryl Ann Jordan and Nigel Batiste, two people that decided to make teas in their bedroom or in their living room, and they are now, when you look at the product, I mean, it stands
quality.
It stands well. Of course, another company, Jules Sobian, Caesar's Army, started in Trinidad and doing work throughout the region. A small company, what was considered small, Lal Paladi.
Yes.
When you hear how this organization started, and the CSR, the responsibility that he shows in operating business, all these people were recognized along with Bermudez, and we really want to shout out to our business partners, our sponsors, because First Citizens, I said, have been here for so many years. Of course, EY have focused on the emerging entrepreneurs and Caribbean entrepreneur, and you would remember that Karma Mirage from Sasha actually went up to one of their awards, and they have been supporting that drive for emerging and startup entrepreneurs. And of course, B Mobile has joined us last year, and right now we're working with them on crafting an award for something along technology and innovation, because again, that's where the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where the future is.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what you're seeing that business organizations like the Chamber are not sitting and asking for help. We're saying, what can we do? What can we do to change the predictable outcome?
Now, as it pertains to, for instance, as you mentioned, somebody with just an idea at home, they can attend this event. What can they gain from something like this?
Right. So imagine yourself as a raw, talented individual, very, very skilled and passionate about a particular concept, but with limited connection to an ecosystem to give you that support. You have an opportunity to sit in a room with not only folks who have been where you are and have come out on the other end of it and continue to grow their businesses, but the opportunity to connect and become part of that ecosystem. So I think the true benefit for an individual like that is one, and networking is a term we throw around a lot, but what I really want to get to is the connection and the connectivity of being part of a broader community. And that broader community gives learning, gives support, and in reality, it gives support more than anything else. And that support comes in so many different ways, just advice, financial, otherwise, and just being in the environment creates life. So if you think about a plant that is a seedling, the same seedling in the wrong environment could quickly die, but put that seedling in the sunlight, the right environment to grow, and all of a sudden you get buds and blooms.
Right.
Same kind of concept.
In fact, taking Jason's point, last year the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber made the decision that we were going to allow all startups that were registered in any of the incubators to become what's called an associate member of the Chamber for a nominal fee. And we also subsidize these events for those people to attend. So they're given. We worked with our sponsors, and we're able to provide a subsidized rate for these people to attend these types of events, so they get an opportunity to attend and participate, because we recognize that they do have, some of them say, well, can I afford this?
Yes.
And again, if they were to call or email
Sure.
the events, the email I provided earlier, which was events.unit@chamber, or call and provide their company information, we will, of course, look at, see if we have any more subsidized tickets available for those people to be able to attend.
Yeah, Mr. Faria, what is the number that they can call again?
It's 637-6966, extension 1251.
Great. And I'd like to ask Mr. Julian, closing remarks. What would you like to say to those looking on?
So what I'd like to say is that we have such a great opportunity in a time like this as a community, not just in terms of business alone, but as a society as a whole. Any time that we are challenged, I think we as a people have shown that we could be resilient, we could overcome, and we could thrive. So my closing remarks are simple, that I think now is the time for us to refocus, make the necessary actions and the bold actions, learn from those who have done it and who are doing it, and let us all together begin to thrive.
Yeah.
And we are here to recognize and support that environment to create future success.
Yeah. Mr. Faria, I like the word you use. You said that it's recovery, and you're going to have one of the speakers talking about recovery. I believe it's Ms. Rocio Medina Bolivar talking about recovery, especially as it pertains to former or other countries who would have experienced certain levels of trauma. Your closing comments.
Trinidad has all the opportunity. We have the entrepreneurial spirit. And you talk about businesses that are taking initiatives. 30 years, 40 years ago, we were exporting products throughout the region and throughout the world. And we continue to do that. So what the Chamber is doing, along with our supporters, along with First Citizens, along with EY, and along with B-Mobile, is we're creating that ecosystem that will take the person in the garage who has an idea, and 50 years from now or 100 years from now, they will be the next Massey, they'll be next Ansa McCall, because that's the ecosystem we have to create. That's the same seedling
Yes.
that will grow and become an amazing tree.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we are here to do, is to provide that support.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
attending. It's really a pleasure chatting with you. Talking about refocusing and diversification. We've been chatting with Gabriel Faria, CEO of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and Jason Julian, Deputy CEO, Business Generation, First Citizens Bank.